Welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever done this, but I'm going to open a secret box on YouTube today, and then I'm going to actually use that secret box to create a page in our sketchbook. So if you order the secret box, just be aware that Noreen Smith has also posted a lot of ideas using this secret box, but I just wanted to give you something different to go with. Now, I haven't looked at the secret box, so I am opening it fresh. I wish you could see my face so you can just get my undiluted opinion on this, but we'll just see what's in it this time. I have heard some people say that there's not a tool in there, so we will see. All right, so if you do have a secret box already, you got it at a discount. You got it for $54, which is 10% off. But I think if they're still available, they will still continue to sell, but for $60. And that will be after noon on February 9th that they'll go up to $60 if there's still some available. Now, here's the QR code, and you can scan that with your cell phone to give you projects that Noreen Smith will do, and that'll give you lots of great ideas, I'm sure. She is so very talented. All right, so we've got Copper Canyon. These are foiled rub-on transfers. Copper Canyon, that sounds like some of my vacation stuff, does it not? Oh, there's more than one sheet. I have not used rub-on stuff, y'all. This ought to be interesting, and I'm sure Noreen is going to tell us exactly how to do that, but, you know, I may or may not wait on her. Those are pretty. So, rub-on transfers. I'm sure I'm going to have to be careful not to mess those up. Okay, we've got, these look like little paper clips, copper paper clips. So I see a theme developing in here, copper. These paper clips I will love for my little happy album planner. So we've got the little paper clips. Those are really cute. I don't know if you're like me, if you're an office supply junkie, but I love office supplies. Copper Canyon embellishments. And these all just have a hint of coppery color in them. A little bit of sparkle to some of them. Oh, lots of leaves and trees. You know, this is right up my alley. Yeah, we're going to be doing a page from my last vacation. I can just tell you right now. These are really pretty. Always remember us this way. Great adventures. Oh, yeah. Loving this. Definitely this is going to be good for me. Okay, so those are the Copper Canyon embellishments. See if I can corral them back in. I really like these. Those are pretty. Lots of different sizes, too, which I always enjoy. All right, those are embellishments. What is this? It looks like little tiny cards. Oh, it is. Okay. I'm not sure what to do with them, but here's some little tiny cards, and I'm sure that will probably be addressed in the Noreen Smith video if you scan that QR code. Look how cute those are. 3x4 white note cards and envelopes. All right. We've got a multi-purpose tool, dark sea green multi-purpose tool. You know, this is one tool that I tend not to use very often, and I've watched people use it. I think I just don't think to go to it. It's a pretty color, though. So maybe we'll just try to use the multi-purpose tool. Hey, maybe that's what we need for those rub-ons. That would make sense now, wouldn't it? So we've got this sea green multi-purpose tool. That's really pretty. These look like fun big embellishments. Copper Canyon embellishments. These are large. I'm not going to open all those yet, but I have a feeling you're going to see those on pages coming up real soon. Big ones. Those would hold a whole 4x6 picture. I like that. All right, so we've got those. Copper shimmer solid paper. Oh, y'all, look at the colors. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. let's see what's in this paper. It says it's a 5-pack, so let's see if it's all copper shimmer. Looks like it is. It's not a variety pack. So we've got 5 sheets of this copper shimmer. That's a nice color. Looks like a lot of my pictures from out west. And then we've got the copper shimmer paper. This is called the designer paper pack. Let me just flip through these real quick. Oh, that's pretty. On the back side is, this has more of a teal tint to it than the blues that I've been working with, but I think I can make it work. Look at that wood grain. That's pretty gorgeous. This looks like some of the Caribbean waters, I think. This would be pretty for some of my canyon pictures. So it looks like copper on one side, and then the more teal color, the blues on the back side of it. And then there's my good browns with some copper woven in. Y'all, this is my kind of paper. I love this kind of paper with just these subtle prints on them. And then a nice beigey brown with that ombre look. So, that's our secret box. Let me just grab my sketchbook and let's see what we can do with this thing. So, we are ready to start on page 35. Looks like a reasonably easy one. And let's just see what we've got to work with here. We've got a 12 by 4 here. That's going to be this whole top area. Looks like we've got a full sheet down here on the bottom with the 4-inch across the top. And then we've got a couple of different borders here and here to just make that stand out a little bit. So let's create this page. So remember, I just opened this box. I have not looked at it before. But I know some of my pictures coming up have that orangey tint to them. So I'm going to pull this right here from my background, which will be the bulk of this page. It'll be 8 inches of this page because the upper part's going to be 4. And I think I may pull this in with it. That'll give me a little bit of variation in colors there to do the top part. But it's going to kill me to have to use up this orangey color right here and cover up 4 inches of that. So what I'm going to do is some welding. So let me get some pieces of paper that I can use for welding. How about we just use a strip off of this? So I'm just going to cut a strip to weld that. Y'all, this is almost as good as having a live because I have not pre-rehearsed any of this. We're just going with it. All right, so we need a 12 by 4 for the top. And I'm looking at what I want to show. I think I want this part to show. So I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. That still gives me a lot more of that paper to use. And then this one, I'm also going to cut the 4 inches off to leave me an 8-inch piece. And then we're going to do our fancy welding that we do to put those two together. Now remember when I weld like this without using a sheet to put it on, I just turn my paper over and I butt those up together against each other evenly. And then I run my tape runner all along that seam. And then just cover it with a welding strip. Now, if I were working directly on my album pages, I wouldn't even have to use a welding strip. I could just put this straight on my album page. But because that's not what I'm doing, I need this, this welding strip to cover that tape until I'm ready to put it in the album. Now, looking back at my sketch here, there's a border top and bottom. So let me look and see which kind of borders I might want to use on this page. And I might need to pull out another sheet of paper for that. So I just flipped around to my shelf behind me, and I'm going to use this Mirrored Triangles border cartridge. I like it because it just gives me the feel of the Southwest. Now, if you're looking at their sketch, they have used what looks like a torn piece of paper with a border on it. Lots of borders going on here, and they use different borders. I'm going to use this same one and do a border here and a border here, just because I like the continuity of that. I think it cuts down some on the busyness. And I did grab me a sheet of this brown just to pull in a deeper color. And also because I don't want to use the brown out of my secret box paper because it's just so pretty and I might have a need for that down the road. So I'm just using a sheet of cardstock to do this border. And I'm going to do one for the top of the page and one for the bottom. Now, if you know me at all, you know that this will probably turn into a 2-page spread. But because I'm not prepared to even put pictures on it today, I'm not going to make it into a 2-page spread just yet. Now, when you see it, it will have pictures on it. And I may just grab some pictures and see what I can do with them now. But I haven't really looked at pictures because I didn't know what was in the secret box. And I'm going to add that here, right on that seam. And then one more along the bottom. I'm loving the look of this. I'm going to grab my repositionable tape. And again, I don't tape every little section of this. I'm not real worried about that because it will be page protected pretty soon. But I do make sure that I get good tape on the ends, the outside edges, because that's where it's going to catch if I'm sliding my page protector on and it's not taped down well. You can see I just kind of hit the high spots here and there. So, you know, this is pretty, but I really think I need to find some pictures. And I need to look at these pretty embellishments. If it's going to be my travel, which I am 99% certain it is, I may use that there. Simply Wonderful. That's pretty. Kind of fades into it. We don't need a congrats on this, but this is good. And the contrast is really pretty there. Having the lighter color here, which maybe I don't like that because it is kind of light against that background. Why don't we throw some of these, leaves up there. That gives us that outdoorsy feel. I think I'll group those together. Sometimes the differences in the leaves bothers me. Sometimes I just want them all to be the same, and they're typically not. There's usually lots of different kinds. And maybe put one going downward right there. All right, I'm liking that. And, you know, in my mind as I'm laying this out, I'm still thinking, okay, we've got room for a 4x6 here. We've got room for several photos here. This kind of acts as my title because, you know, this whole book is a continuation of this vacation. So I don't necessarily have to have a title on every page. And let's just grab the next pictures I've got that are going to go in the album and see if they work with this page. Maybe they will. All right, so here we go. This is my next grouping of pictures. And when I'm looking at some of them, I'm thinking, whoa, these look a lot like some I've already scrapbooked. And they could be. And some are very similar to each other, so I can do a lot of weeding. So let's choose some that I know I love. Like, I love this with all those spikes in the background. That one I look like I'm holding up the mountain. Not necessary. I love this, kind of playing with the cactus, kind of being silly. There. Oh, that was my honey looking out towards those. So that might be good to put those two together. And you can see these white borders are showing up really well on this. So I'm not going to have to do matting on that unless I wanted to go back and matte with brown instead. I could move some things around and possibly add another one in. I wonder if we could cut that down a little bit, or do we even need it? I don't think we do. We see the cactus there, so we don't necessarily need these cacti pictures. Another little cactus. You know what? I think on this one, I may stop with these 3 pictures, but I want to look at these embellishments. Let me look at those larger embellishments and see if there's something bigger I want to put here. And then on the opposite page, we can put a couple more pictures. So these bigger embellishments, these are good when it says title on the sketch. Things like that are really good. Life is full of wonderful adventures. That's pretty good. Kind of like that. Loving this moment, making this day count. Everyone has a story to tell. All these embellishments are great, y'all. They're really good. So that life is full of wonderful adventures. That might be really good for this. And it could be that I could even add it right there on the edge of the picture. And then I would have room for another photo. So these are even larger frames. These are so pretty. Now, the only thing about putting a frame over here is the fact that I would cut up that border that I've got going on there. Now, I could add a vertical picture down here and put the frame on that. These frames are all really pretty. And you know, my first thought was these colors are just not going to work well with this teal, but I don't think it's bad. Okay, so a lot of choices here, but I really do like that one. So let's go back and look at those pictures one more time and see if we've got an up and down picture we could add there. And maybe we could trim this one down a little to go up here. I do have this vertical, but that's not even one. Well, there's some neat mountains in the background of that. And what you're gonna see on this, because I have that white matting around, these pictures are not gonna fit the frame quite as well. So that's something to consider if you're gonna order your photos with the matting attached, is that it makes your photo just a little bit smaller. So if I do it this way, I'm gonna see white around the edges, and I don't necessarily love that. So what if we go back down with this? We overlap a touch here, and we do that matte there. Still don't like that white showing. All right, on these particular pages, I don't think I'm going with this big matte. I think that's gonna cause me some problems in my thinking. I do still like this title, so let's look at one more horizontal that we could cut down and put here, and at least we'll get 4 pictures on this page instead of 3. You know, it's just killing me to have 3 on that page. And this is a good one because it shows my husband up here. It shows that same tract of land in the background. So let's use our personal trimmer and cut that down. And we'll have a page done. Now, to me, the obvious thing is just to cut some of this sky. But I'm going to cut that and put it right up there. And this is going to be ready to go. I'm thinking here, this having these matted with the white sure did save me a lot of time. They would be pretty matted in the brown too. The browns would really make the blues and the tan colors stand out. But the white also makes them pop, and you know I love that. We had lots of options here. The fun thing is, we just opened that secret box, haven't even played around with it, didn't even really know what was in it. And we've been able to put together a page really fast, even putting the pictures on it. And these are just the next pictures that were in my power layout box for this trip. I didn't have paper pulled for them, wasn't prepared for colors, nothing. But I want y'all to understand that you can do pre-made pages not knowing what pictures you're going to use. It's okay to do that because you can make so many things work if you just start looking at the possibilities. And in just a few minutes, we've been able to put together a really pretty page using the January 2024 secret box. All right, there we go. That is page 35 in your sketchbook. Looks pretty true to the sketch, actually. I've got one here, I've overlapped here. I could journal here if I needed to, but here again, I don't feel like this one actually needs journaling. So page 35 in our sketchbook is done. Y'all keep tuning in. You never know what you're going to see when you come to Scrappin' with Sheri. And until next time, happy scrapping.